Hey, what's up guys? Chad here with Greenlight Shooting and welcome to this week's review video. So today we're talking about Black Arch holsters. These guys sent me an email about a month ago asking if I'd be interested in reviewing one of their products in exchange for one of their products. So they sent me the Protos M box set free of charge. I like to be upfront about this because even though the product was given to me free of charge, I made it very clear to them and to you guys that I do not guarantee a positive review. There's no money exchanged in exchange for a positive review, anything like that. So anything I say in this review is truly my own honest, truthful opinions. So let's dive in. So first let's talk about the company. So Black Arch Holsters is a holster manufacturer out of Logan, Utah. What I really like about them is it just seems like they're a cool group of guys. You know, it's not like some gigantic corporation you're dealing with. It's literally just some cool guys that are down to earth and really enjoy making next level holsters. They have a true passion for it, and you can tell. Like whenever I talked to the guy, you know, it's just like texting your buddy. You know, you don't feel like you're dealing with some giant corporation, which I really like. You can tell they take pride in their products. In the note, they say they didn't start out trying to make money. They started out trying to make a holster that was better than all the other holsters out there, one that they would want to use, and I can really get behind that. And then, you know, the money will always follow passion. So these guys lead with passion, lead with quality, and I really do like that about this company. Now the products themselves. So today we're talking about the Protos M box set. So when you get the box set, you get this big fancy box, and you get 3 different holsters. So they're hybrid holsters in that there's a Kydex shell on the outside, then there's 3 leather backers that the Kydex shell can attach onto. So this one here is the dual clip inside the waistband holster. We also have a single clip inside the waistband holster and an outside the waistband holster. So it gives you kind of everything you need. And then the Kydex holster is just attached by a couple screws here. So you unscrew those, you can take that Kydex shell off and put it onto the different leather backings. So a pretty cool setup. Let's talk about a couple things that set the Protos M holster apart from some of the other competition out there. The first thing is what they call their 3/4 hybrid system. Now you can see on the Kydex it wraps all the way around to the back of the trigger guard. This does a couple things for you. The biggest thing is that it addresses the issue of retention. On a lot of Kydex holsters, what's actually being used to add pressure and hold the gun in place is your body pressing against the back of the holster and then the Kydex pushing against the other side, and that creates the retention. As you can imagine, that creates a little bit of variability based on, you know, your body size and the gun size, stuff like that. So by adding that additional piece of Kydex to the back, they've actually solved that. I mean, the retention is very consistent. It's almost always the same regardless of body size or what's pressing against the back or the front or anything like that. So you always know that you have great retention. The other thing that the 3/4 hybrid system does is on a lot of Kydex holsters, they'll actually tend to collapse when there's no gun in them. This one holds its shape regardless of what's going on because of that back piece of Kydex, which is a really great idea. The last thing that 3/4 hybrid system does is it covers your entire trigger guard. Not just the front, not just the back, not just half and half. It covers the whole front and the whole back, which is a great peace of mind. The quality of the materials used are very high end as well. I mean, the leather is no chintzy leather. This thing is thick and padded and really comfortable against your side. It's just flexible enough, but I mean, it's a solid piece of leather, man. This thing is definitely high quality. The Kydex corners are all rounded very nicely. I mean, there's no sharp edges anywhere. There's nothing that can get caught on clothing or get caught on your skin. Which leads us into our next point. These guys talk a lot about how comfortable these holsters are, saying they're the most comfortable holsters on the market. And I have to be honest, when I first transitioned into a Glock 19 as my everyday carry, I was concerned, you know, with my body frame, and I'm used to carrying an XDS. That's a pretty big gun, a pretty heavy gun for me just to start carrying one day and not stop. So over the past probably 2 to 3 weeks that I've had this holster, I've worn it almost every single day, all day long with my Glock. And it's really comfortable, I have to admit. You know, I had my doubts, but at least on the dual clip one, it's really comfy, man. I carried it in a couple different areas around my body. The place I liked most was about that 4 to 5 o'clock, kind of right behind your hip. With this dual clip, it was super comfortable. The retention was really solid. It didn't go anywhere. Yeah, no complaints there. I said I carried almost every single day for the last couple weeks, and most of those days were with this dual clip inside the waistband holster. There was a couple days that I tried out the outside the waistband, just at the range and stuff like that, and then the last 2 days I did the single clip inside the waistband holster. So first let's talk about the outside the waistband holster. This one's just got 2 slits for your belt to go through, and you know, this one was pretty good. It wasn't my favorite outside the waistband holster I've ever used, but I don't really like this kind of holster to begin with, you know. It just doesn't provide enough retention for me. Like when I draw, regardless of how tight I get the belt, I'm always getting a little bit of up and down movement on the holster, as there's no like rigidity on the back to hold it against my pants. You know, it's not like there's a paddle going inside or anything like that. So the outside the pant holster is just okay. I mean, it certainly does its job. It's just not for me. You know, I can never get a really clean draw out of this one. Next up, let's talk about the inside the waistband dual clip holster. So like I said, this is the one that I have the most experience with, and it's because I liked it the most. It's really, really, really comfortable. The draw is incredibly clean. The retention is solid. I mean, I wore this with shorts and tight t-shirts. I wore it with pants and a hoodie. I wore it in all sorts of conditions. As long as you have a good, sturdy gun belt, this thing is awesome. I would recommend this all day, every day. I'm super, super happy with this. The back, as you can see, is really soft. It's like a suede-ish kind of feel. It feels good against your side. Obviously, make sure you don't have any allergies or anything like that, but this pressed up against your side didn't give me any issues. I did mess around with changing these clips up and down a little bit to kind of adjust the cant, and I ended up going right back to the middle on both sides. It was just a good fit right out of the box. So finally, let's talk about the inside the waistband single clip holster. Now, I really like the way this one looks. When you get the Kydex shell on there, you know, it's just got that single clip right there, and everything's just really kind of sleek and compact, and it's really nice. Okay, here's the thing. I think I would really like this holster if I didn't try the double clip one first. The double clip one was just so comfortable, and going to this one, it's still comfortable. I mean, it's still nice. It's just that other one felt a lot more secure, had a little better retention. I don't know. This one was, like I said, it was good. Again, remember that I'm carrying for the most part on that 4 to 5 o'clock on my body. I tried appendix carry. I tried a couple different options with it, and I always went back to that 4 to 5 o'clock and always stuck with the dual clip over the single clip. I mean, maybe there's certain times where this one would come in handy that I don't know about or haven't encountered, but from everything that I've tried, I'm gonna go with this one all the way. Now the box set does come with a lot of additional accessories, which is really nice. So like these clips here on the dual clip, you know, it comes with a lot of different options. You've got like the J clip, the steel clips, you know, the belt loops if you like those. So I stuck with the original ones in the end though, just because, I don't know, I liked them. You know, they did what they were supposed to do. I had no problems with them. When you do the inside the waistband single clip holster, the clip actually fastens to the slit right here within the Kydex shell itself. We'll talk more about that in just a second. Now, one of the biggest selling points to these is the fact that you can take this Kydex holster off and attach it to any of the leather backers pretty easily. So there are 4 screws, like I mentioned, and for the most part, it is pretty easy to switch them over. So if we switch it over to the outside the waistband holster right now, you can check out how that works. So, and then I've got these little rubber washer bumper things here. So I'm just going to take these 3 off, set this off to the side, and then on this outside the waistband one, I can just put these rubber washers right there on the studs. So there you have it. Switching from the dual clip to the outside the waistband is pretty dang simple, considering you have a drill with you. It does come with a little mini screwdriver, which is nice, but you do have to have tools with you in order to switch these out. But here's where things kind of start to become a pain, is when you want to switch from either one of these holsters to this holster. So you take off this Kydex shell, and then you've got to attach one of the single clips to this slit. And it's kind of a pain because you have 3 little tiny pieces of hardware you have to watch for. You have a small screw, a small washer, and then like a backer, like a stud that you're screwing into. And you have to hold that stud on the back underneath here, and you have to kind of line everything up and then screw them in. And the back, I could not get to stay steady. So I had to get a pair of needle nose pliers, hold them in place, and then screw them very, very slowly. And I had to do that, and it just took me a lot longer than it should have. You know, I have sweaty hands. I'm not the most handy guy in the world. I don't foresee myself using it for the simple fact that I don't want to deal with having to attach a single clip holster right here. So to finish up here, I just want to summarize my pros and my cons. My cons to these are just dealing with the little tiny pieces of hardware if you're trying to switch to the single clip holster. It's such a pain. It's so frustrating trying to juggle it all. Switching between these two holsters is no big deal. Yeah. Not a problem. I really like how these guys are pushing the envelope and trying to innovate and keep things fresh. I like the idea of being able to switch this Kydex shell around to the different leather backings, but I don't think the innovation is quite there yet. If I think about true innovation on these kind of holsters, I think it's going to be whoever can figure out how to take these screws and take tools away first. So if you can get this same amount of reliability and retention and just how secure it is, but take away the screws. So if there was a way I could just take this off and put it on here and not have to have a tool with me or anything like that to do it, and it's almost instantaneous, that's going to be true innovation. Until then, this is a very, very good step in the right direction. Another small con to think of is with your belt. When you're threading your belt in and out of these holes on the outside the waistband holster, it will kink your belt up pretty severely. I only wore it for one day and my belts have permanent kinks where these were, so keep that in mind. Now onto the pros. So first up, presentation. Presentation was done very, very well. It's an expensive product and you feel like you're getting an expensive product when you get this box and you see these holsters. Number two is just the quality of the materials themselves. This leather is very, very good quality. It's very comfortable. There's no sharp edges anywhere. Everything is rounded off really, really well. One of the biggest pros is that 3/4 hybrid system that I was talking about earlier, covering the entire trigger guard, not letting the Kydex collapse, just keeping a consistent retention on it at all times. It's really a great system. And I was talking about innovation before on kind of switching these back and forth, and maybe the innovation isn't quite there. I certainly wasn't bad talking the innovation behind these whatsoever. I was just adding some maybe constructive advice on how to make them better, because there truly is a ton of innovation in these holsters, and they're good quality stuff. Third pro is that it's very comfortable. I mean, like I said, I wore this all day, every day for weeks, and I still want to keep wearing it. I think that's a huge testament in and of itself. The fact that I'm going to keep wearing this holster, I'm going to keep using it pretty much every day. I think kind of speaks for itself. So finally, the price. For the box set, you get everything here with those accessories and everything. You're looking at $210. And then just for a single one of these with just the leather backer and the Kydex shell made for your gun, you're at $95. It is a decent chunk of change. There's a lot of other competitors out there who are offering similar items at a lower cost. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of things that are setting these holsters apart. You kind of get what you pay for, especially in the firearms industry, and it's no different with these holsters. It's a good holster, and like I said, if you're looking for those options, the box set at $210 really isn't bad. You get a lot for your money, but if it was me, I'd just go with this single one for $95 and I'd be pretty happy with that. It's a holster that I know is going to last me a very, very long time. If you've made it this far in the video, you deserve a coupon code. As usual, if I'm going to back a product, if I really like it, I'm going to work with the company to try and get something for you guys for watching the video. So use this coupon code here. Make sure you get yourself 10% off for ordering one of these bad boys, and tell them I sent you. So there it is. There's my review on the Black Arch Holsters Protos M box set. You can head over to their website. All their information is down in the video description below. So head over there if you have any questions. If you liked this video, if you want to get more coupons on really cool stuff, make sure to hit that thumbs up down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what other stuff you'd like to see reviewed, as well as what you think about these holsters. Hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on anything else. And share the video if you think someone else can benefit from it. If you haven't seen these other two videos, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to catch the vlogs every Monday and the main videos every Friday.